So viewers, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Colonel Tyagvir Raghava, once again with another episode of Win Life Like a Warrior. And winning life like a warrior, what I always keep telling is that how to unhook your past and you win life like a warrior. The warrior doesn't mean that every time you have to go to battlefield and fight with the weapon and the bullet. Here, what I mean by the warrior is that you should fight the demons within you. And the demons are that your self-sabotaging traits, self-limiting beliefs, your regressive attitude or fear of failure, or your negative thoughts. These are some of the demons. If you can fight them, then I am sure that you can win the life like a warrior. So in that series, today again with me is another warrior. But let me tell you one thing, that one very simple framework which I have coined, the word warrior, that is 7 steps framework. So W means how you can win your mindset. The A is that you should have attitude of gratitude. The R is that you must remove the clutter from your life if you want to win really the life. And the next R is how do you reinvent yourself after having achieved the 3 steps of W or A and R. Then next letter I in the warrior is that you become someone who inspire others. And then the letter O in the warrior signifies that overcome your procrastination if you want to achieve anything in the life. And finally, the letter last R of the warrior is the roti, that is return on time invested. So whatever time you have spent in achieving these 6 steps, you will reap the rewards. You will achieve that returns on this time invested. So that is the word warrior I imply is. In that sequence today with me is Mrs. Shagun Chowdhary, Miss Shagun Chowdhary, who is a trap shooter, who is an Olympian, who is a multiple time national champion. And she is again looking forward to another Olympic in the France that is going to happen in 2024. She is looking forward to another national games, which is in the October this year. Before I get into the detail, let me just welcome Shagun on behalf of me and my viewers. Shagun, welcome to the Win Life Like a Warrior.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Shagun, first of all, I would like to tell that you have been in an environment where that shooting was a sport. Your father was a good sports person and he was a shooter himself. And that is where you were born and brought up and you were watching from your early life. And when you were 3-year-old, that you used to go to the ranges and then you used to play with that plastic gun, and you means inculcated that shooting is spirit right from the childhood. So would you like to share something of your early life or early childhood when you were with your parents?
So I was really fortunate that I was introduced to the sport at a very early age. And I remember we were in Bikaner and my dad had taken to the sport and he used to shoot with late Maharaja Dr. Karni Singh Ji at the Bikaner Thunderbolt ranges. And that was used to be the highlight of my day when he would come back from our factory and he would pick me up from home, and then we would drive in the gypsy to the Thunderbolt ranges, where I would see both my father and His Highness shoot skeet. So not to feel very left out, I remember I used to carry this, plastic AK-47. So
Okay.
while they used to shoot their shotguns or whatever, so I would mimic them and follow the targets and shoot with that plastic gun and pretend that I have hit the target and not them. So that was pretty much how early on how I started off. That was my introduction to the sport. And my father was always very encouraging towards me as far as sports is concerned. And I'm a product of what he believed in. So that was pretty much my childhood.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's so exciting to hear that, and means parents supporting the child for something unconventional is a wonderful thing which can happen to any child. So Shagun, after that, I believe you studied in that Maharani Gayatri Devi girls school, that is MGT. And also thereafter you studied in that Jesus and Mary College in Delhi. Now with this, I think you had a good academic background as well. You were good at academics and everything. So how did it happen that you still continued with the shooting? Because normally the parents in the family always wanted to do the child either civil services, or they wanted to do something very conventional, doctor or engineer, something like that. But you persisted on the shooting part of it. That you would like to share something about that.
So, Raghav, you're quite right about that, because my mom, who was not a sports person, always had her inhibitions as far as me taking up sports professionally is concerned. And so I was inclined. I mean, I was a decent academic student, and I had science in my in high school, 11th and 12th. I entered. I got through Jesus and Mary College on the sports quota, because I was also a national level swimmer at the time, and I was shooting air rifle, air pistol for fun. So, and plus, so I got into JMC, and I took up economics honors, and which my mom was really happy about, because while my dad would keep pushing me towards sports, she was pushing me towards academics, because we all know that sports doesn't, I mean, it's difficult to make a career in sports. You have to be on the top of your game. The gamble is, I mean, it's a gamble, right? So you either make it or you break it. You can't, there's no mediocrity. And so for her, it was very worrisome that I was spending so much time in sports and I was not spending as much time in studies. And even though I did, I mean, I'd got through economics honors in college. So for her, she said, okay, you can pursue shooting as well, because then if you become a Rhodes Scholar and you'll get a Rhodes Scholarship, what the criteria was that you had to be an economics student. And along with that, you had to be a great sportsman as well. So my mom always, she had no faith in the sporting system of our country. And I don't really blame her, because there was no cushioning as far as back in the day. And I'm talking about 2001. So I'm talking 21 back. There was nothing that was given to sports people as where they would be financially secure, or where they would look at, like, nobody ever thought of that apart from cricket. And that also always happened to be the men's side, not really the women's side. But as far as any sports is concerned, there was no sports person that I knew who would say, no, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or this is what I want to make a career out of it. Because at the back of everybody's mind, there was no support. There was nothing in the future. So if you see, the lifespan of a sports person would actually go up to while you're in college, and as soon as you would, and that is also if in school everybody did it with extracurriculars and all of that, team spirit. In college, if you got through sports quota, then you had to be a part of the college team. But nobody willingly at that point of time actually took up sports as a career. In my case, I was fortunate that I had my father backing me up the entire way, where he told me, he said, take easier subjects in college, that you can act, so that you can actually pursue sports. And he had this whole idea, because he represented the state Rajasthan in the national games. He had shot the national games alongside the likes of Karni Singh ji, Balaji Singh ji, all these people. So I think he knew what it felt to be on the podium, and how much it's a matter of pride. So he saw that for me, and he really pushed me. And so it's not that I did go through a lot of struggle, where I had to convince a lot of people why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I'm not pursuing a simple thing. Like, I had science. So the ideal thing was that I would have actually become, and I sat for my triple IIT, I sat for my IIT exams, I sat for PE. So I did all of that, but my heart was in sport. And the person who saw that was my father, and he left no stone unturned in order to push me in that direction. So my mom always she had this, she's from Delhi. She went through CJM. She did a master's in nutrition, and she's quite an achiever in her own right. And she always had these dreams for me that I would do an MBA, then I'll be CEO of a company, and then I'll probably, that is because at that point in time, that's exactly how far you see.
I know, I know, I know.
And
No,
so
not only then, even now is that
even now, right?
it's not much change. There is not a
Not
much of a change.
in
Maybe
mind, yeah, in
yeah,
mindsets have changed because we have a lot of more vocational
yes, yes.
courses and all of that people are taking up, becoming a chef, being into sports. There
Mm,
are a lot of things, but back in the day, I'm saying 21 years back, that wasn't
I
it.
know.
Either you could either be a doctor, an engineer, or an
Civil
engineer,
servant.
and it or a civil servant, and it ended there. So for me to kind of break that barrier and to convince everybody around me that what I'm doing. But having said that, trying to convince everybody with nobody in the past who's actually done it. So if there's somebody, if you would say, okay, there, look at this girl. She did so fabulously well. Look at where she is right now. You didn't really have that. I didn't really have that. So I didn't have any examples also to set. So people
I
just looked
know.
at me like, like, why the hell are you wasting your time blowing clay targets? It's an expensive sport. There is no future. What exactly do you tend to do? But I had made up my mind because I the environment that I have been brought up in, we are uh, we only believe in achieving what we set out to do. And for me,
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you, Sagun, that
yeah.
under the circumstances, way back in 2001, when the girls were as such very limited into the sports, and that too under a situation where mother is wanting something, father is wanting something, so the conflict at the home, child is sandwiched between the two, and it's a courageous step. That is what we call it, a courage, that you follow your heart, come out of that comfort zone, and you happen to follow our heart and follow the passion, the sports, which you already said that you loved the sports, and that to shooting you loved it, which came from your dad or whatever environment you had. But you stick to that, and you change even subjects from your science stream to you came to the economics, so that there is less of academic burden on you. So viewers, you must understand how one can follow his or her heart, because you have to overcome those obstacles, maybe parental, maybe societal, or maybe anything. Then only you can achieve the significance. Otherwise, there is no way out. Or you fall to the line, you become a crab mentality. What everybody is doing, you start doing the same. So unless you differentiate yourself, you can't become significant in life. Good, Sagun. It's a very inspiring thing which you have told, and I am sure the viewer will learn a lesson or two. Sagun, after that, you probably after graduation, if I'm sure, that you joined the ONGC. So this academic is one side. That is your under control, that you can take a lighter subject, you want to study, you don't study, you go to college, don't go. But when you join an organization where you are being paid for it, there you have to 9 to 5 you have to spend. In that scenario, how did you manage that your passion and the practice part of this, getting into the excellence of shooting and all? Would you like to share something about that?
So, Colonel Raghav, ONGC is a fabulous organization where they pick up sports people who are excelling in their field, and they give them the financial security and job security that is not easily available to sports people. So I remember I had picked up an international medal in 2008, and that's when I applied.
And what was this medal, Sagun?
The 2008 Asian Shotgun Championships, where I got the silver. And on the basis of that, I had applied, and I went for the interview. Mr. R.K. Sharma, I still remember, was there, and he interviewed me, and he said it would be a pleasure to have you on our team. Now, and I remember when I joined ONGC, which was in 2008, I was given the rank of a public relation officer.
Okay.
But organizations like ONGC are so fabulous because they actually let you do and let you excel in whatever you set out to do. So there was no, so I remember the first day of office, I went to my boss and I said, "Sir, what do you want me to do? Like, what is my job description?" And he says, he just told me, he said, "Go and shoot." So I said, "As in go and shoot?" He said, "Why are you in office? You have to be on the field." So ONGC is one organization that we are ambassadors of ONGC. in the sporting arena where we are excelling in whatever field we have chosen. So we have over 200 sports people who are actually employed with ONGC, where ONGC takes care of our our job security, our financial security. And at any point of time, like I'm still an active shooter, I'm still representing ONGC in the nationals and internationally. At any point of time that I want to give up shooting, do I join ONGC at the designation that I'm at? So that is the cushioning that the organization provides, with immense support for any sport that you choose to, whether it's equipment, whether it's training, whether it's mentoring. So it is. I'm one of the lucky ones that's a part of this brilliant organization.
Wonderful, wonderful. I fully subscribe that ONGC is one such organization which takes care of their sports person and help them financially and give all the support to achieve. And that is what is needed from the organization. In fact, why ONGC? Everyone should do that. Then only the country can come up. Then only the sports person can come up. The thing is that when you joined and then your officers whom do you meet, and he said that, why are you here? Go and play and bring medals to us. You see, getting the medals and is not easy to come by. The medals is a lot of sacrifice, lot of grit, lot of resilience, and lot of passion you need. One of the most important things that you should be passionate about your sports. And so in the times of when you are going through the lows of your life, or when you are situations like pandemic, how did you manage that composure? Because for getting the medals, you have to keep your passion at the highest level so that you contribute or you follow your passion from your bottom of your heart. So how did you manage that situation? Because many sports person who will be listening, they also go through their lows of life, and they would like to know from you. You are a very experienced sports person of 17 years. May like to share some secrets about that.
There are no secrets. For us to be sports people, we have to, we don't lose out on hope. And despite all the failures that we go through, we are always gunning for that one moment of where we succeed. So I think the pandemic also, because we have through our lives as sportsmen, we endure many failures than we have successes under our belt. And so the pandemic was also one such trying point where it was very easy to give up and say, the world's doomed and everything, it's all going to come to an end. Or you go with the same psychology and the same mindset that you have for sports, where it'll all get better soon and you have to keep striving. So that is, I think with that mindset is what I went, where I never lost out on hope. And I knew it was a bad time. It was a period in our lives that we lost loved ones. It was, it was frustrating. You didn't have any light at the end of the tunnel. You're in a gray area where you didn't really know what tomorrow brought. But it's the positive mindset of our profession that I think helps us deal with these situations in a much better way, where we're always looking for that, for that light at the end of the tunnel, that it is going to come eventually. So with that, that is
very right, Shagun, which you mentioned. The one word you summarized the answer to this, that hope is the one. Hope means that hope signifies that you have a winning mindset, you have a positive mindset, you have a growth mindset. There is no negativity at all. Means you always look forward to that. Yes, the day will come when you will be standing on the podium. Yes, what a wonderful viewers. You must understand that hope is the one which carries you through all the bad times of the life, all the ups and downs of life, and a lot to learn from that. Shagun, another thing which I would like to mention is that you have been crowned multiple times as a national games champion, multiple times. Also, you have been summer this Olympic 2012 trap shooting, you have been a participant in that. And what viewers would like to know, that to reach up to that level when you are a participant in the Olympic, what is exactly the process? Because there must be so many people who must be looking forward to that, and they may be wanting to chalk out their path, how to reach there. So in a briefly, if you can tell that what is the process to reach that qualifying? Because I know that 2011 or so, when the Belgrade, this thing, you qualified for the Olympics. But before that, you must have gone a lot of steps. So if you can tell briefly to the viewer that what are those steps to become eligible for participating in the Olympics? That itself is a big feat for any country.
So qualifications for the Olympics is not something that happens within the country. For shooting, we have to take part in World Cups and World Championships, which have Olympic quotas, which an individual wins for the country. And those quotas are only given to the top few individuals in the world who qualify in that. So, for instance, when I went for the World Championships, first I went to Slovenia for the World Cup, where I came seventh, and it was the first and the second. The person who finished the first and the second, they already had quota, so it went to the third. Then I went to right after that with the World Championships in Belgrade, where I made it to the final and I came fourth. So once I came fourth in the world, then the top three were China, America, and I think it was France. They already had, and each at that point in time, there was only one quota allowed per country. So since these three had already got quotas and there was one quota in that championship, that quota came to the fourth participant, which was me. And then it stopped there. So for qualifying for the Olympics is something where you have to go out there and prove your mettle, not on the national scale, but internationally. You have to keep finishing in the top 5, top 6 in order to qualify, in order to take your country to the Olympics. So once you win the quota like I did at the Belgrade World Championships, I had won the quota for India. Then I had to go through another set of trials in India with my teammates, because I had brought the quota to India, but I had to win it all over again within the country in order to participate in the Olympics. So I went through another set of, I think, 3 or 4 trials where I had to win those again in order to make my position, strong for and confirmed to represent India at the Olympics. So it's a really long drawn process, and it happens over years, because the quota system, there are only certain competitions that have quota places. So first of all, you have to qualify for the Indian team in order to get to those competitions. Then once you get to those competitions, then you have to finish in the top 5, top 6 in the world in order to pick up a quota for representing your country in the Olympics. And then you come back and then you have to go through another set of selection trials. So in India as well, there's competition. So it's not an easy process, to say the least.
That's wonderful. Means, in fact, reaching to Olympic as such is not an easy process. And everybody knows that how much commitment, consistency, and your hard work plays a role to reach the Olympics. There is no denying the fact in that. But thank you so much for explaining in so much detail that people should understand that how difficult it is to become an Olympian. But one thing which I wanted to know is there any number of players who can participate in one particular event are limited? That is why they call it a quota?
Yeah. So when I was I'm still shooting, but when I won the quota for the Olympics, there was only one quota that was given per country. And it's not that every country got a quota. Only the top 18 countries in the world who won quotas were eligible to participate in the Olympics. So it's not that India has one quota for the Olympics. India has to go out there and pick up that quota for India. So it's only the top few countries in the world who win the quota then are eligible to participate in the Olympics. So it's not that everybody's got a chance. You have to win it for your country and then you have to win it for yourself.
And so, that too, those are limited number of quotas.
Very limited. Yeah, very limited.
Shagun, here the point comes, sometime in life, because sports is a big life lessons. In fact, in every field there are life lessons, but the sports it is immediate, where the failures teaches you much more than success. And it happens every time. If people realize it, that failures in the life teaches you much more than the success. In your case also, there must have been a number of times where you must have learned much more from your failure than the success. Would you like to share those moments so that viewers who must have gone through that and they said, okay, now I can't do it more than this, without realizing that that is where the stepping stone that you should overcome and go ahead. You may like
there have been so many instances in my life, like I think in a lot of people's lives. Like I was giving you the example of the World Championships in Belgrade, where I won the quota. Now, 2 months prior to this, there was a World Cup in Slovenia, which had 2 quota places on offer, not one but 2. And I was in peak form, and I missed out on I shot a 72 out of 75. So I was in the running to make it to the finals, but there were a few of us in the for the finals. There was Slovakia, there was France, there was a couple of other people, and there were only 2 spots in the final for 6 people to actually go and make it. So I went and I lost that shoot off to make it to the final. And if I would have made it to the final, then my chances of winning the quota, because there were 2 quota places, out of which 3 people had already won the quota place in the final. So between 3 people, there were 2 quota places. So my probability of winning a quota for the Olympics would have been much, much higher.
Oh.
So, but I lost, and I lost the shoot off. And I remember I came back to the tent where the teams would sit, and I just put my head down and I cried. Because I came so close. Nobody had ever come so close to winning a quota. And I could have just said, you know what, forget it. It's not, I came so close, it's not going to happen. But no, you don't do that. So 2 months prior, 2 months after, we had World Championships in Belgrade, which were happening in September. And I took some time off. I came back for training. I started preparing again. The World Championships in Belgrade had a much wider, it had a lot more countries participating, because the World Championships are much more prestigious than World Cups. And so every country is is representing themselves in the World Championships. So I went into the World Championships where there were, I think, over 100 countries participating, and it had only 1 quota place. It didn't have, so you had to go through that entire process again, then make it to the final, but I didn't lose out on hope. I did the same thing. And after I had finished my 3 rounds, I shot a 72 out of 75. And I looked back at my coach, Marcello, at the time, and I just smiled. So he says, no. So I said, what happened? He said, you're in the shoot off again. I said, no way. He said, yeah, you're in the shoot off to make it to the final. You have to make it to the final to have a go at the quota. So, and I had lost the shoot off in Slovenia, in Maribor, about a month back. So I said, not going to happen this time. So I went in and I won the quota. I won the shoot off to get into the final. The final, you start from the final. You have to again shoot a complete round with those 6 shooters and then win that 1 quota place. So again, I went into the final, but this time I was determined. I said, okay, I went through one hiccup, which was I came so close. I'm not going to let it go this time. And that's exactly what happened. It came to the final target. It was literally like, that was, it all boiled down to the final target, where I won it over the Australian. And I went to the Olympics, and Catherine Skinner, who lost the quota, became the Olympic champion
thereafter
in the 2016 Rio Olympics. So it was quite incredible. So like for us, it doesn't matter what stage you're at. A beginner will be shooting with an Olympic champion on the same platform. There are no you don't get any plus points or any for being a novice. So you're just thrown out there with the sharks and you have to swim to shore.
Absolutely. What a closing remark you did. And the viewers, what she told is, you must understand that in the previous event, there was a probability at least twice, because there were 2 quotas. And the next time it was only 1 quota was there. And had she thought of that, oh, it's enough, I can't do beyond this. But not that way. She got up again and she fought well. And then finally she wins. So the lesson learned is that unless you go and stand and fight again, so that is called the failing forward. If you feeling backward is that you stop and don't do anything. But feeling forward means you fail, get up and again fight it back. And that is what Shagun did. And finally, she became an Olympian. Shagun, this is what, and fail, as everybody must know, that it is the first attempt in learning. So never think that one failure stops you for achieving anything. It is continuous progress, which you can do it if you continue. So never give up. That is the lesson. Now, Shagun, you have the national games scheduled in the October 2022. And I know that you must be preparing very well, very hard. But since you have been playing since 2003 and now it is 2022, there are lot many water has flown down the Brahmaputra, and a lot many new competitors must have come. So how, because when you started off, you were the probably only one, you were the only woman trap shooter who went to the Olympic that time. And now I think there must be at least 50 odd people who must be competing with you, or they must be your colleagues in this sport. So how are you preparing now for looking forward to that 2024 Olympic?
So yes, after I made it to the Olympics, there were so many other girls who actually, like I said, when I was starting, there were no examples for me to give where I could take a name and say, see, she did it, I want to do it too. But now, and I get this a lot from the girls who started shooting, that Didi, humne aapko dekha aur humne kaha hum bhi kar sakte hain. And that is the kind of, so now there are a lot of youngsters who have come, and it makes my heart swell with pride that, you know, women have taken to the sport like fish to water. And there are so many, like from being a handful, we are over 100 who are actually, and we have junior world champions now. We have, you know, we have a massive bench strength, which is amazing. So it just makes me also pull my socks up, and in order to be there, and so that because these young guns are coming and they're going booming all over the place, so you really have to be on top of your game. So they keep me active and they keep me sharp. So that's a positive.
Naturally, they will be keeping you so that you take out best all the time and every time, and that must be the inspiration as well as the competition as well. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. But Shagun, I believe when you started with, I think you started with the skeet shooting, then you started with double trap, and then finally you came on the trap shooting. So this transition, how it happened, means was it a thought out process, or it's you got the clarity over a period of time that yes, where exactly you fit in so that you can give your best to the nation?
So Raghav, I didn't really have a choice. Because when I started shooting double trap was a part of the Olympics for women. But in 2004, after Beijing, so I started shooting double trap, and I picked up my first international medal in double trap, where I defeated the Chinese in the Asian Championship and went ahead and did what I did. But then in 2004, after the Olympics finished in Beijing, they took a decision that they will not have double trap for women anymore. So I had spent 2 years training for training in a particular event which had absolutely no future anymore at the Olympics. And my dream was always to represent my country at the Olympics. So it did not make any sense for me to pursue something that I will not be able to represent at that time. Hence, I made the shift from double trap to trap, and I started shooting trap in 2005. And and then in 2011, I picked up the quota. I had a couple of international medals in the middle, but nobody had the quota. So I picked up the quota in 2011, after picking up trap in 2005, because I didn't really have an option.
So any particular reason that double trap was scrapped for the women in the Olympics?
It's also no, it was. It's now scrapped for the men as well. So I think they were just trying to slowly wean off with this. Yeah, so it's okay.
As a same double trap, where the Colonel Rajvardhan Rathod also got the medal, is the same event?
That's the one.
Okay, that's the one. Okay, so it has been scrapped altogether for everyone.
Yeah, there's no double trap anymore
Okay.
in shooting. It's
Okay.
only trap and skeet.
But I believe that this trap is much more difficult than the double trap.
It is. Trap is the most difficult. Trap, because trap is an unknown target. Trap flies at a much higher speed.
Okay.
And skeet is a known target. Double trap is much slower, where you have two targets, but you always know the direction that they'll be going in. In
Okay.
trap, you don't know which direction it's going to go in, and it also flies at about 100 kilometers an hour.
I know.
So it's definitely much more challenging.
Another thing that I believe your dad was a skeet shooter, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
So you didn't follow that?
My younger sister did. So
Okay.
so
She's also a shooter?
she used to be, I mean, she is a shooter. She also so she started shooting skeet when she graduated from college, from school.
Okay.
And
Okay.
she pursued that because my dad had these grandiose plans for both the Chowdhary sisters. How we have the Williams sisters, he thought it's going to be the Chowdhary sisters. But so I was pursuing trap, she was pursuing skeet, but she left it voluntarily because she wanted to go out and study further. So she
Okay.
has now done a master's in tech from New York University, and she's very happy working there. So we both have been very fortunate that we are allowed to pursue whatever
passion. Yeah, and it should be. It should be. Parents should be like that. They should support the children whatever they want to do. Means there should not be any compulsion on changing that.
Yeah.
Shagun, one very important aspect of sportsmen is that, though it is very important everywhere, that you see, for a sports person, keeping emotionally very balanced or emotionally very healthy or very strong is very important. Though IQ and EQ, if you have this deadly combination in any field, you are a sure shot to achieve success. Only IQ will not help you unless you have a EQ in that. But in sports, I feel it's all the more important, and that too when it is shooting. Keeping your emotions under control, because I can understand when you are shooting at the target, which is at the 100 kilometer per hour, and that too in any direction. And you have to keep a balance. How you control your thoughts, how you control your emotion, that is what matters. How do you do that? Because that my viewers would like to know, because it's the most difficult part for anyone, not only for the shooter, even otherwise. But I can understand the shooting, it will be the most important part of the life.
So, Raghav, shooting is a very interesting sport. In air rifle, air pistol, everybody's poker faced because you're not supposed to show your emotion. In shotgun, tapered shooting, we're a little more animated when we miss targets sometimes. But the idea is, you have to strike that balance, because shooting is one sport where your heart is racing at 180 beats per minute. But at the same time, you have to keep yourself calm. So, and that kind of teaches you so much about life as well, that there might be absolute, you might be in a crisis, but how you have to think clearly and take the present in and then think rationally. So as sports people, we do have, I think it's the attitude that we kind of get because of the sport, because sport like teaches you a lot. It's a great leveler. Yes. Where you might be winning in 1 second and you might be at the bottom of the bottommost rung of the ladder in the second. So you can never take your successes for granted, and you can't be beaten up by your failures. And at the same time, so I think with this attitude and with this mindset, where I think we're in a much better place to also deal
with the life situation.
The life situation, to keep our emotions in check, and to think about or to deal with whether it's relationships, whether it's in a much more rational and systematic way, where you don't get overwhelmed by things around you.
You rightly brought out, Shagun, that you may be successful today and tomorrow you may not be successful. So success shouldn't go to the head. And
it's also acceptance of whichever situation you might be in. Every time we try and push things away, or we try and say this shouldn't be happening to us, I think once you start accepting the situation or circumstances that you're in, you're much more able to kind of deal with that situation. So
Yes.
that is also something that sports teaches you, because it makes you accept whatever you have in front of you, whether you like it or you don't, and you just have to deal with it and then pick up the pieces and then move forward. So I think that,
Yes.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful learning. And that's what I wanted to bring out, that success is not a destination. Success is a journey, or means you keep moving forward, whether it you are falling or then again getting up and then again picking up the pieces and then winning and losing. It's a part of the game. And you rightly said, ki, that is why the sports person do much better in their lives, dealing with the life situations and the crisis or adversities in the life. Wonderful, Sabun. Sabun, another point where it comes is that, you see, for any sports person, that support system is very important. You rightly brought out that your father was behind you and he wholeheartedly supported you in everything, whatever you thought of. Despite that, mother was, I must say that against that you should go for academics and do something there. So that support system, especially for a sports person, you in the beginning you said that this is one thing where nothing is guaranteed, except that you have to have that kind of courage, commitment, and ready to come out of comfort zone and keep fighting, keep fighting. Fighting spirit is there. So how do you see the support system which have been for you in the beginning and the now?
Karan Raghav, my parents were always, my dad was very supportive of sports, but my mother was supportive of me.
Yeah.
And she saw the passion and the drive with which I was competing, and I was trying to prove to the world that I'm here to do something. And all she wanted for me, was basically to have a settled life in terms of financial security and job security, where I didn't have to look at anyone, or I was self-sufficient in my own right, but I didn't have to look at anybody else for that. So I remember in when I won the, and that's the reason why she either wanted a doctor before my name, or an engineer, or a CEO. So I remember calling her up from Belgrade, and when I won the Olympic quota, and I called her up, I said, "Mom," I said, "I couldn't give you a doctor and engineer, but will an Olympian do?" And she burst out, because she said, "I'm just so proud of you."
I
And
know,
it
I
was
know.
one
It has
moment
to
where,
be.
yeah, so that was just one moment. As long as you don't lose direction and don't lose sight of what you
Absolutely.
set out to achieve, and you do
Yes.
that in it could be any field or any genre. That is all that makes a difference to most parents.
Parent. Yes. Yes.
So I think, and that is and now also, like earlier, she would tell everybody. Now, I mean, she is my prime supporter, and she's a flag bearer of telling everybody how sports is such an essential part, or should be such
Oh,
an essential part of everybody's
life.
life, because she has
Yes.
seen my journey through it. She has seen how it has shaped me as a person, and how it
Yes.
has sculpted my identity into who I am today. So, and
Yes.
that is what she teaches now, that you must, even if whatever because it's a great leveler, like I said. It's very, I mean, it's the most humbling profession that you'll be in, where you can't wear your ego on your back, and
Absolutely.
you're pretty much everybody's at the same level. There is no, it's like how you used to go to school, and we used to all be
Yes.
in uniform. Nobody knew where anybody is from or whatever. It's all about being on the same platform as one. So I think sports teaches you that. So and that is what I think a lot of parents now, it's great to see that they are actually pushing their words towards this, because they see a lot more opportunity, that what I didn't see anything while I was, but I just did it uh, because I wanted to, and I had faith in the Almighty that something will work out. So, but now, like with the corporates also coming in, with the government also coming in with so many support, with schemes like Halo India and all, it is a much easier.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it is much easier today for a junior shooter, or for any athlete to actually take up sports than it was 20 years back. So that is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the viewers who are listening and who want to become a sportsman, take this point from Shagun, that right now is the time, like a Khelo India and other things happening. In her time, there were nothing like this. And there were no support. And now there is a lot of awareness, and there are a lot of avenues are there. A lot of corporates and everybody is helping. Good point, Sagun, you made it this. Shagun, in 2024 in Paris, the Olympics are scheduled now. So I know that in October there is a national games due and you are preparing for that. But what is your now thought process and vision for that 2024? How are you preparing yourself mentally or physically?
So Raghava is the same. I mean, I've been through one Olympics. I know what it takes, and we just have to go out there and do our best whenever we do. So any competition, big or small, is a step in preparation to win a quota for the Olympics. So I try
Yeah,
and I have this amazing coach, Russell Mark now,
yeah.
who's the coach.
Italian.
No, he's Australian.
He's Australian. Okay.
Yes, he's Australian. Him and his wife have, come together, and they have taken over the shotgun shooters and are doing a brilliant job in teaching us the right way in order to approach competitions and all. And there's no competition big or small. Every competition teaches you something. So,
Yes.
so whether it's on the district level or whether it's state level, whether it's national or international, you always go back home learning something. So with
Yes.
our attitude, I mean, that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to participate in as many and keep learning and keep trying to get better at the sport, because you never stop learning.
Absolutely.
You always learn something new. So I don't
Absolutely.
think there's any sports person who will ever say that I know everything now, because that's not.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's with that attitude, I just want to take part in whatever and try and win another quota for the Olympics, hopefully. So let's see.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sagun. And with this positive mindset, I'm sure you will win the quota and you will achieve what you are setting out for yourself.
Thank
And viewers, one thing which Sagun said, I have to highlight that you have to be lifelong learner. If you want to achieve in any field, it's not only sports, any field. If you think the day you think that you know everything, that means your life has stopped. Okay. So you have to be dream student throughout your life if you really want to excel in any field. And so very important point here. And the sports person is the one who learns every day, and that is why she can tell so many lives. And that is the reason I brought her here, because nobody better than the sports person can tell you how the life should be lived like. Okay. And one has to be firstly dream student. Sagun, other than the sports now, let's come to that. What are your hobbies? What you are basically, how do you spend your time when you are away from the ranges, or means something else which you are looking forward to?
So I'm never away from the ranges for a long period of time. So
Okay.
that's pretty much second nature to me, or first nature actually.
Yes,
And
yes.
other than that, I have, I have taken up this project where I am trying to, because I saw this during the pandemic, how a lot of people had lost jobs, and I feel very strongly about women. And we have this farm in Jaipur, which is adjacent to a village. So during the pandemic, I got a lot of people employed on our farm from the adjacent villages in order to give them a means of livelihood. And so that kind of struck a chord with me. And now I'm doing something similar on those grounds, where we are developing the farm, and I'm trying to get as many women to come and work, so that because I know how important it is for a woman to be self-sufficient. And that is, so I interact with the villagers. I get them on board. I tell they want to learn shooting, so sometimes I tell them about shooting. Sometimes I give them life lessons, and they want to come and just spend the day with me, so I do that. So that, I mean, interaction and just trying to help people in whatever way, small way that I can, is what I'm trying to do. And apart from that, I have the usual hobbies that any person will have. I love
I
listening
know.
to music. My day can't start without music, and it helps me function a lot better. And I love hanging with friends. I like going out. I love eating great food. So just the usual, just the
I
usual.
know, I know. But very important thing which you mentioned, Shagun, and that is very important, giving back to the society, which you said that women empowerment, you are helping the women to become self-sufficient, okay, self-empowered. And I don't think anything could be better than that. And people should learn that once you achieve something in life, you must give it back to the society. And that's is an important part of it. Uh, Anything you plan to do something in the this shooting sports also you must have thought of, because with so much of a vast experience you are having, probably you can do a lot to the.
I am very happy to help people in and give them the knowledge that I have gained over 21 years of my life, and because I know how difficult it is to get your basics right. So even now, when I shoot at the ranges, and if there are any youngsters who come to me for help, I'm more than happy to help them. I'm coaching this one young boy who just qualified for the state competition, and he picked up a gun just 2 months back. So I am trying to give back to the sport and trying to help as many youngsters as possible into taking up shooting and taking the sport further ahead. And
Well,
yeah, so as
well,
uh,
yeah,
it's,
go
it's
ahead.
it's not something that I have thought of consciously, that but in any which way, if I can give back to the sport, because the sport has made me who and what I am today,
Yes,
I
yes.
am more than happy to do so.
Fantastic, Shagun, and viewers who are watching. And if you want any help or any guidance, any tips from Shagun, you can approach her. I can approach me. I can connect with her, and she will be all the more happy to help anyone to do something for the nation. Would you like to share anything else, any event or anything which you have experienced throughout your entire career of sports? Any event which you would like to share, which
Any
you
event
feel that
in terms
any, and in terms of which you feel that yes, it made like maybe the funny event or maybe some incident or accident during this entire journey of sports, because shooting is such a sports where you must have come across many situations. Anything which you wanted to enlighten or lighten up the environment?
I'm known to be quite a prankster on the team.
Okay.
So I have played a lot many pranks on my teammates, but they still love me. So that is good. And I remember this one time we'd gone to Italy, and my teammate called, and we had reached around 8:30 or something. And and we had to report to the range at 6:30 in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. So she called me up in my room and she's like, Shagun, what's the time? Because I don't have the Italian time right now that time. So I said, and there was no Wi-Fi or anything. So this was some time back. So I said, listen, I said, it's already 12 o'clock at night. It's time for you to go to sleep. So she said, oh my God. So she's like, oh my God, it's already 12. I said, yeah, you have to wake up early. So she set her time clock according to 12 midnight. And then she was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's the time that she was supposed to be at the range. And she was the first one to be at the range. And it wasn't even daybreak. And then she was so chirpy, because she was like, see, everybody else is sleeping, but I'm here on time. Till the range officer came, and he's like, what are you doing here? It's like, no, I was told to come here. He's like, listen, it is like 4:30 in the morning. Please go back home, go back to the camp and sleep. So she came back, she banged on my door. She's like, I trust me to actually listen to you and take your advice. I'm like, well, you should know better. But she hasn't stopped after that. So this was just one of the things, but there have been many. There have been many. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Any last advice to the sports person? Any last, which you think is the most important part for any sports person?
Just stay determined, and do not give up so easily.
Yes.
Because I mean, life is all full of struggles, and so is sports.
Yes.
And but it teaches you a lot more, and it
Yes.
will teach you to deal with life also in a more practical way. So just keep at it. Just keep at it and stay determined.
Yes. Wonderful thought, wonderful learning. And just to add to it, I read somewhere the obstacle is the path. Obstacle is the path. Means there is no path without the obstacle in life. Whether in sports or otherwise, you have to go through the obstacles. So, can you hear me, Shagun?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
go through obstacles,
yeah,
absolutely. And you actually learn a lot more through obstacles than
yes.
having a very
Smooth life.
yeah.
And it's always said that even in the life also, if it is a straight line, you are dead. So long as it is ups and downs, it's a life.
Yeah.
Okay. So viewers, this is where we have come to the conclusion of our guest, that is Shagun Chowdhary. And Shagun, thank you so much that despite the technology challenges and internet not
Was it
behaving
in my
properly.
hands? I tried to.
And we made it and we completed it. And beautifully, you have answered all the question. And I'm sure my viewers must have learned a lot from your discussion. And they will go much richer from this discussion.
I
So
sure
thank
hope.
you so much, Shagun. And
Thank you for having me on